My schedule says that I am to be making a very different video today, right now, but I just can't. I just cannot do it. I will say this, like, if you're in the EU, go vote this weekend. It's probably the most important European election of our lifetime. Unless you're like me and actually kind of young. I will be breaking all of my rules today. I will basically, instead of doing content, just talk about me and my problems. And I will dress it up as clickbait because I want people to see it. And I will also e-beg. I will also be airing a lot of dirty laundry of mine that I don't want to be airing. But and I will regret that, but I'm at a point in my life, emotionally and mentally, where I just cannot take it anymore. I even scripted this video ahead of time so I don't lose my train of thought. So here's the thing. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. Not just the YouTube thing, but all of it. A lot of you probably know that I have major depressive disorder. I talk about it all the time. It's mental health is a big subject for me that I try to do advocacy for, I suppose. It works very differently from normal people who have MDD for me because it acts like it would if it was comorbid with borderline personality disorder, which I don't have. Basically, normally people with MDD will have a couple months of depression or maybe also years. It can also be years, and then it'll be quiet for a while and maybe it'll return and maybe it won't. For me it's different. I get depressed every month, but only for a week. Sometimes it's just a couple of days, sometimes it's 2 weeks, but that's pretty rare. But it's almost always extremely intense. It used to be worse. It got a lot better. It might be getting worse again, though I hope it isn't. I have at one point in my life been suicidal. That was years ago. I haven't attempted suicide in a very long time. I hadn't really attempted it properly back then also. I always stopped myself before actually doing it. And I haven't had suicidal thoughts in a long time, but this past month, the past couple of weeks, I think I've had them every day. Which isn't to say that I wanted to kill myself. There wasn't the intent to do it. It was just the idea of doing it appeared in my head even when I wasn't being depressed. It's gotten to the point where I've spent most of this month just being scared of the depressive phase that I am in now. Scared for my life, scared, shitless, fuck, what's gonna happen with all the other problems in my noggin. I have symptoms of paranoid schizophrenia, I have symptoms of OCD, I have symptoms of Tourette's. It's just that none of them are even close to being severe enough to interfere with my life in any significant way. I might even benefit from them in some way. I mean, I have this immense creativity. Maybe it has something to do with having them, or maybe that's just me seeking comfort in the idea of the tortured artist because it's one of the few refuges, you might say, that I still have. Things have not been going very well in my life lately. Many of you probably know that I spent a significant portion of last year working 70 to 90 hours a week, not only on this channel but also on various other creative projects. I had to stop doing that at the beginning of the year because it was killing me. That's why you only get 2 videos from me a week anymore, and I don't stream on Twitch anymore, and the short stories have become a bit sporadic, though I do try to keep up with the amount. Nowadays I work 40 to 60 hours a week, which, while certainly not ideal, I do get to set my own hours, which is a huge advantage that most people who work a regular 9 to 5, who may be working a few less hours than I do, they don't get to do that. You probably have also noticed that videos in the past few weeks have gotten a lot shorter, and even those have been excruciating for me to make. This has to have been like 2 to 3 months ago now, I think. But I have, among other things, been going through a very tough breakup. And it wasn't even tough because of all the bad shit that usually happens when there is a breakup, because literally none of it did. Like, all of our mutual friends are still all of our mutual friends. The people that we went to for emotional support checked in on the other person to see if they were all right. We are also still friends, and it's pretty great. It's just a good place to sort of be with her, and we work quite well as friends, even if we haven't found like the proper rhythm yet, on account of recently having come out of a relationship. I mean, we have like keys to each other's apartments, and we hang out from time to time. And like literally yesterday, we went to a mutual friend's place for a games night, and it was a fucking blast. And like playing Quiplash with all of those people, it kind of reminded me that I hadn't like laughed in a long time. Like actually laughed, you know, not just to fucking dull the pain. You know, you watch comedy and you laugh, and you laugh a little louder than you should, because you're not really laughing because it's funny. You're laughing because you want to like have a split second where you're not in pain. But yesterday I actually laughed because it felt good. It gave me like a moment of respite in this hole that I am in. I think the toughest thing about the whole breakup situation is that she is just like the first person that I actually really loved in my entire life. And it's always very difficult to get out of that situation for like normal people who don't have their brains screwed up. But I think the worst part is that like she was literally the only good thing I had going for myself in my life, I felt like. And it fucks me up, and it's super unhealthy. Like, we were together for 3 years, and I relied way too much on her for like emotional support, or just like validation of just knowing like everything in my life is shit and I'm a failure of a human being, but at least I have like a beautiful, intelligent, and loving woman at my side. And I identified with that way more than I was aware of, maybe. And that's like not a good thing. I don't really have like a family. I grew up mostly in a boys' home. Like, I was a ward. I don't think I was a ward of the government explicitly, but it was a place where you put children that nobody wants because no one can take care of them because they're too difficult to take care of, or whatever other situations you have. I didn't meet my father until I was 13, and he has since excommunicated me from his family, which I think also sort of fell apart. My mother is the person whom I have inherited all of my mental issues from, and I haven't spoken to her in years. My grandparents, who were basically like the only people in my life who acted like parents towards me ever, they're getting like really old and poor, and they live in Spain also. My grandfather has Alzheimer's. He's had it for years, but it's been getting really severe these past few weeks. It's costing them a lot of money for like care and having him, because my grandmother can't take care of him. She's a very active and vital woman, but it's just too much. And like, my grandfather was a dick for most of his life, but he did do a lot for me, like a lot. And still I don't know if I can go visit him. The place where they live is in the middle of nowhere. They have no internet. There's no people, there's no nothing. There's just like the house and the town that's deserted for most of the year, and like the sea. It's actually like silent there in the night. You can hear the waves, but that's about it. And I can't go to a place where I have so many like happy memories with like my ex and make new unhappy memories with my grandfather, and be at the stage in my life that I am in, and then be alone with my thoughts. I don't want that. You probably also know that I struggle financially. I always have. I'm from a background where you have nothing. That's probably like my main problem in life right now, are my severe financial struggles. I had, because I was getting lucky and I had like different opportunities, put back a lot of money for like the hunger period of now, where I thought, hey, I will just, make little income because I don't make too much income, and then supplement it from the savings that I have put through like a long time of having a stable income for like different reasons, and not eating every meal. And then eventually I would get to the point where I could sustain myself, at least with my creative work. But then I got unlucky also, and many of the financial safeguards that I had put in place for me to be able to survive this for a long period of time sort of disappeared, even though they shouldn't have, even though it's like really complicated, weird legal reasons, and I've never met anyone to whom this has happened, and it shouldn't happen, but it did happen, and it just works that way now. And for similar reasons, also more financial burdens have been put on me. Then you had the problem earlier in the year when they banned Sargon from Patreon, which cost me a lot of patrons because people were just leaving the platform, and my Subscribestar account portfolio was just sort of in limbo, review limbo, because someone had forgotten about it for several months. And so like most of the patrons didn't come back because probably they'd moved on. That's what happens. And at the same time, I'm in a massively privileged position. I live in Germany, which is pretty damn fancy. I have a YouTube channel with like 20,000 subscribers. That's like 20,000 people. And I have an amazing community that is supportive and intelligent and just nice, and I couldn't be thankful enough for them. Though, I mean, frankly, probably after this video, the sub count is going to drop quite a bit, because I could very much understand if you lost respect for me for doing this video. It's just that I've lost respect for me a long time ago. The therapy that I've been going to for like over a year is covered by my insurance that I don't have to pay anything for even, which is also going to change at some point in the future, but it's still going to be very cheap. The same is true of my thyroid medication. The bogus lawsuit that some bored rich cunt is bringing against me is, causing me a lot of stress and anxiety, but I don't have to worry about paying my lawyer because the state is taking care of that on account of like me not having money. I have friends who love me and who accept me, and I get to meet like new cool people almost every other day. But I'm still terrified of waking up every single day. And it's all so much. My life is at this point just sort of waiting for shit to happen. It's waiting for the algorithm to swing back my way. It's waiting for the latest depressive phase to go away. It's waiting on responses from professional inquiries from people who frankly have better things to do. It's waiting to be assigned shifts from like a side job that I recently took on but who seem to have forgotten about me. It's waiting for my grandmother to call and say, hey, like the only person who was a father figure to you or anything resembling like it in your entire life has died from a terrible disease that you are probably also at risk of getting. I'm waiting for the legislatures of various countries to actually implement Article 13 in a concrete manner so I can see what my professional future holds in this continent, and if I maybe not have to move to like a completely different part of the world, which I have no money for. I'm waiting for my impending financial ruin, because apparently it doesn't matter how hard and how much or how smart I work. I'm waiting for the results of a bullshit lawsuit that could destroy my life forever, if like the lawyer of the other guy is truly as good as everybody keeps telling me. I'm waiting for just like a sliver of the joy that I once felt doing my work to maybe return to me. I'm waiting for my ex and now dear friend to move away to a different city so she can start an exciting new chapter in her life, while I have to remain stuck in this hellhole of a city that I hate being in, but I can't get out of. Just waiting for something good to happen in my life. But it's not even like I need just one good thing to happen. I need a lot of good things to happen. I have nothing, and it becomes less and less every day. I have no amount of security in my life. I have no options to do things. Waiting is the most excruciating thing that I like personally, that I can do as a person. I like working. I like to have problems and devising solutions and then working on getting those solutions implemented. I can maintain, I can soldier through, I can just, power through whatever difficulties that I have for periods of time. But I need something good in my life for that. And that's all just going away now slowly in most of the places where it was. While at the same time, more shit gets piled on top of me. Genuinely, if YouTube hadn't gone as well as it has these past few months, and there is no denying that it went pretty damn well, I'm not sure I'd be alive. If it had been the first 3 months of this year, just the constant hopelessness, the constant paddling against the raging surf, the immobility, the inability to just do anything, whatever I did, I don't know if I would still be alive. And that scares me shitless. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that I have it so easy compared with most of the human species. I'm doing something that millions of teenagers and young adults and a lot of proper adults also just want to be doing. And I'm actually on the right track to being successful at it. Many people have been doing this for way longer than I have, and they haven't had a fraction of my success, even though the content that they produce is way better than what I do. I will be bringing out a short story collection next month, and there will be people who buy it. Imagine being able to do that. How privileged you have to be. I came from being the unwanted result of a one-night stand to what little I have now. And still I find the space to complain about it. I am ashamed of treating you, my audience, all of whom have their own problems to deal with, all of you. You have your own lives, your own problems. You're basically my therapists right now. I have an actual therapist for that I go to for therapy. None of you should ever know about my personal problems. If you'd been in the VIP section of my Discord server recently, holy shit, I have just been whinging about everything non-stop. And then people who have their own problems will go, oh, you met a girl and she wasn't immediately into you, but you still made a great friend that you enjoy spending time with. Yeah, sure, I will listen to you whine about this for 2 hours as I see out of the corner of my eye and hear the whispers of my fallen buddies who were killed by an IED in fucking Iraq because your little problems are somehow more important than mine. I'm especially ashamed of asking you, people who owe me nothing, for money. It's disgusting. You come here, you probably watch the ads on some of my videos, and some of you give a bit of money on Patreon, some of you do super chats. Some of you give exorbitant amounts of money to me, even, Neo. You have probably done more for me than the overwhelming majority of my biological family. But that's, as far as this relationship should go. You shouldn't have to help me out just because I can't get my life on track. But I'm at a point where I don't care anymore. I have lost all self-respect. I have lost all my honor, I have lost all my pride. I'm too scared of the future, and I'm too done with the present to not do this. I'm tired of running with dogs snapping at my heels while the walls are closing in on me, and there's sort of axes dangling from the ceiling, and there's knives sticking out of the floor, and up ahead spears are coming that I need to evade. I can't do that anymore. I just can't. I used to, when I was like felt really shit, I used to just hit up random people that I admired, like mostly, other YouTubers, and just send them through like their, I don't know, channels, fan mail, whatever, like, hey, I like what you're doing. Because I always enjoy it when people send me that. It sort of cheers me up, and so it cheers me up to send that to them also. But it doesn't give me any amount of joy anymore. I'm here. I was shaking earlier for hours, sleep deprived because like the anxiety won't allow me to get more than a few hours of shut-eye at a time. Pathetically using this platform that I have been given to just beg. If you've wanted to become a patron, do it now, maybe. It's actually kind of nice. The perks are pretty good. If you just have like $5 lying around on PayPal and you want to send them my way, I would be immensely grateful. But don't send me anything that you can't afford to like give away. Please don't do that. The thing I'm looking for the most though is opportunity. I have skills, I have time, I want to work, I want to put myself to work so I can improve my future long term. You have like a voice acting gig? I'll do it. If you're fairly big time, I might do it for free for the exposure, though I don't think that that's gonna happen somehow from this video. You need help with your writing, like some proofreading, maybe some editing, just some general like reviews. I've been doing that for free for a long time. Might as well make a few bucks off it. You're a person who does any kind of creative work, or you have the will or idea to collaborate with me on something. Let's look into doing that. I will probably do it, unless it's illegal. If you want to like have me record a 30-hour audiobook for like $4, I'm probably going to say no, but only because I could make marginally more amount of money than that with the work I regularly would do in 30 hours. But the bar is very low. I will be continuing to soldier on. I will continue to make content. I will continue to try and improve the content until the point at which I literally just keel over and I'm completely done. At which point, getting hospitalized would mean that I'm done because I can't make content. And that would end me. This is my life now. It just is. I chose it. I'm ashamed of it. I don't know that I regret it, but I am now at the mercy of internet strangers. I've had caustic stress diarrhea for like most of the week. I have to force myself to eat, but I do eat. It's just disgusting and I hate doing it. And I almost vomited from anxiety like 2 times today, and that has never happened to me. This is the lowest point I've ever been in my life, I think. This right here, this is rock bottom. I'm very happy that I have a lot more discipline, and I know that I will not commit suicide. I know that I will not do it because I have the mental discipline and the protocols in place that it won't happen. And it's all for just a lack of perspective. I can do tough times, but I need to see like something at the horizon that's worth going for. I don't even know how to end this. I suppose this video is patron sponsored, though I don't know why you would want to like sponsor this drivel. You are, however, like the people who have kept me alive for a while. So, thank you very much for that. And yeah, see you around, cunts.